When we think of Noah's Ark, we usually picture a colorful boat floating on a vast ocean, carrying a bunch of animals to safety from a huge flood. But hold on a second. What if there's more to this well-known story than meets the eye? What if it holds secrets that can help us understand God's unwavering faithfulness in our lives today? Buckle up, because we're going on an adventure to discover the hidden depths of Noah's Ark. We'll explore the life of this ordinary man who became famous for building an extraordinary boat, and how his story continues to teach us amazing things about God even now. Get ready to be amazed by the profound truth that this simple story holds. It's a journey you won't want to miss. Ready to dive into the captivating story of Noah's Ark and uncover its surprising lessons about God's limitless grace? Then let's embark on this unforgettable adventure together. Noah was a righteous man who walked closely with God, but before he built his famous ark, he had a simple life, working his fields and vineyards. Yet everything changed when the heavens opened and God spoke to him, sharing a shocking plan that would change history forever. God told Noah about an upcoming flood so big that it would cover the earth, wiping out every living thing except those inside the ark. Overwhelmed but obedient, Noah started building the massive ark exactly as God instructed. It was a gargantuan task, but with divine guidance, he completed this monumental project. Then came the time when Noah, his family, and a pair of every kind of animal entered the ark to escape the impending flood. As the rain poured down for 40 days and 40 nights, the world outside was transformed into a raging sea. Inside the ark, they were safe. After the flood waters receded, Noah and the others emerged from the ark to a world washed clean and renewed. And that's when the famous dove carrying an olive leaf came back to Noah, symbolizing peace and the end of the flood. But here's the fascinating part. Noah's story isn't just a thrilling adventure, it's a profound lesson in faith, obedience, and God's boundless grace. It teaches us about the consequences of sin and the importance of righteousness. But above all, it reveals God's incredible love for humanity. Now let's talk about some important things we can learn from Noah and his incredible journey. First off, we need to talk about Noah's faith. This guy was a righteous man who did what was right in God's eyes. He walked with God, which means he had a close relationship with him. Noah didn't just know about God, he trusted in him and followed his ways. This is super important because having faith in God is the key to getting through tough times and makes us strong when things are hard. Noah's faith was tested big time when God told him about the great flood that was coming. But instead of being scared or doubtful, Noah listened and took action. He didn't try to change God's mind or make excuses. Instead, he started building an ark, even though it seemed impossible. He didn't know exactly how it would work, but he trusted God's plan. This shows us that having faith isn't about knowing all the details. It's about trusting God even when things look scary and hard. Speaking of facing challenges, let's talk about how Noah handled the flood. Building an ark was only the beginning. When the rains fell and the flood waters rose, Noah and everyone else on the ark had to deal with the rising waters. They had to stay inside for a long time, dealing with all kinds of wild animals and figuring out how to survive. But even when things got really rough, Noah didn't lose faith. He kept believing that God was in control and that everything would be okay in the end. This teaches us to keep our faith in God when things are really difficult, and to remember that no matter how bad things get, God will help us. Now, let's focus on God's character, as shown in the story of the flood. In the Bible, we learn that God is all-knowing, which means he knows everything. He saw that people had become really bad and were doing lots of wrong things. So he decided to start over with just a few good people and animals. But before the flood, God warned Noah, giving him time to prepare. This shows us that God is also patient and kind. He doesn't want anyone to be lost, so he gives people chances to turn away from their bad ways and follow him. Even though God decided to send a flood to wipe out all the wrongdoers, he chose mercy and forgiveness for Noah and his family. This reminds us that God is full of compassion and wants to be merciful rather than punishing. Okay, let's take a moment to talk about another important part of the flood story, the dove and the olive leaf. When the rain finally stopped and Noah sent a dove out to see if the water had receded, it came back with an olive leaf. This was a sign of peace and new life. The olive leaf showed that the earth was recovering and getting green again after the flood. It was like a little miracle that gave everyone on the ark hope that things were going to be okay. This tiny detail in the story reminds us that even after really bad times, like a world-ending flood, new life and hope can come back quickly. Finally, let's talk about how the story of the flood ended. After the rain stopped and the water drained away, Noah and all the animals left the ark. They stepped onto dry land and looked around to see a world that was washed clean and brand new. It was like God had given them a fresh start. This ending teaches us that even after experiencing something terrible like a flood, there's always the possibility of a fresh start. God gave Noah and his family a new chance to take care of the earth and all the living things on it. It's a hopeful message that tells us that no matter what happens, we can always try again and do better next time. So there you have it, folks. Some of the many valuable lessons we can learn from the incredible journey of Noah and his ark. Remember, facing tough situations can test our faith. Just like Noah, It's important to trust in God's plan even when things seem impossible. By putting our faith in God, we can find strength and comfort in knowing that He's with us every step of the way. Don't forget, God is full of compassion and wants the best for us. He gives us chances to change and grow, and sometimes He might even surprise us with a fresh start. And hey, before we wrap things up, here's a fun question for you. What's your favorite part of the Noah's Ark story? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear your perspective. And while you're at it, don't forget to hit that like button. If you found this video helpful and inspiring, share it with your friends and family, so they can also learn these valuable lessons. Together, let's spread the word and make a positive impact on the world. And lastly, if you haven't already, consider subscribing to our channel. We've got lots of amazing content coming your way. Thanks for joining us on this journey. Until next time, may you find strength, hope, and inspiration in the timeless wisdom of the Bible.